Happy New Year, everybody. Roast Battle League Commissioner Pat Barker here. Wanted to tell you guys about some dates we have coming up before we jump into this week's episode. January 31st, of course, is the RBL World Championship. That's the big one. If you're anywhere near Denver, you want to come out to be a part of that. It's imperative to us that we sell this thing out. We have people coming from all over the world to battle. It's going to be an incredible show. Make sure you check that out. If you're in the LA area, before then, January 18th, we are going to be doing our latest Jam in the Van show. It's the start of a new tournament that I've created called the California Cup. We have battlers from LA, from San Francisco, from San Diego, all converging on Jam in the Van to begin the first round of the first annual California Cup. So you want to be there for that. For more information on that, check out Roast Battle or Jam in the Van on Instagram. And then the other one that we were going to talk about is the Mothership. This is a very special episode dedicated to the best of the Mothership from 2023. 2024, we would love to see you guys out at the club. Unfortunately, our first two shows are already sold out. January 1st, which as you're seeing this, will have already happened. That one sold out. So we said, all right, let's talk about February 11th. You can surely get tickets to that. Nope, they're gone. It's becoming a hot ticket. So make sure you're keeping up to date on the Mothership, checking out the website, waiting for those ticket drops because the tickets are moving faster than ever for the Roast Battle shows right now. We will be back there in March. We will be back there in April. I don't know when those tickets are dropping, so make sure you're keeping an eye on it. Last but not least, as far as our YouTube content, obviously RBL Weekly drops every Tuesday, and a full edition, a full-length front-to-back show of Roast Battle will be dropping every Thursday, sometimes from the Belly Room, sometimes from the Mothership, sometimes from Jam in the Van. We have a bunch of different shows going on right now. Every Thursday we'll be dropping one right here on the YouTube channel. Without further ado, let's get into this week's episode, the best of the Mothership from 2023. RBL Weekly back on the air with a very special episode, wrapping 2023 with the best of the comedy Mothership. I am your host, the commissioner of the Roast Battle League, Pat Barker, joined as always by the creator of the show, Brian Moses.
Happy New Year, Pat.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody. Happy Roast Battle New Year.
Let's just do some quick math on this, right? So for a lot of people, they're just discovering the show.
Right.
The show's been around for, what, 10 plus years now?
10 years, yeah. On the internet, not so much, maybe like 7 years.
Yeah, we'll round down, we'll say 10.
Right.
That's 52 weeks a year.
Right.
We never take a Tuesday off.
Right.
There are, on average over the years, we used to run like 8 or 9 battles a week. Let's say on average, that's 6 battles per show.
Yeah.
That's 318 a year, times 10 years.
Yeah, we got our 10,000 hours within like the first 3 weeks of the show.
3,200 battles. On average, the people have done like, say, 5 jokes a piece, so that's 10 jokes total. You have heard 32,000 roast jokes, by my math, in the Belly Room alone, not counting Jam in the Van, not counting the Mothership, not counting anywhere else you've ever gone. Yeah, I would imagine there's weeks where you're like, I don't want to do this.
No.
It would be insane if you were like, I'm excited every week. That would be crazy.
It's not so much like, listen, the show excites me because it is like a weekly talk show. So I do love doing a roast battle because you get to riff with with some of the greatest comics and some of the greatest comedic minds and some of the greatest future comedic minds.
Sure.
So in that sense, that's what always gets me up to do it because I am going to learn something every time I go to that room or do this show. What I don't like is just watching new comics do stand-up because that's hard. Like, I got to give kudos to Tony Hinchcliffe because he has to watch new stand-up every week. That is a hard thing to do.
For a minute at a time.
For a minute at a time.
We're watching 5 to 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, before we hit record on the camera, we're watching 45 minutes of stand-up.
Yeah. I got to hear the same joke. Like you were saying off camera, like you got to hear the same, it's the, oh, you look like the pedophile and the victim he's molesting, right? It's like, how many times I got to hear that joke? Or what was the one you were saying? American
History, XL.
Right.
You only eat pussy if there's ranch on it. Like,
yeah, you like that one, though.
It's a great joke. That's the thing. All of those jokes that we've heard a million times are great jokes. That's why they get reused. And, what we were talking about off air, just to fill everybody in, is like, there are kids, and I say, kids, I mean like 22, 23, newer comics,
right,
who probably are just discovered Roast Battle within the last year, who have no idea that those jokes have been done 1,000 times. And they're sitting down right now writing for their first Roast Battle, and they're like, this is fire.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can you not? There's been a million jokes. How can you not repeat them?
And they were all done in the Conor McSpadden versus Toby Marshino battle back in 2017.
So. Oh, yeah, dude. Watching that one back, I was like, my God, they hit way more. there was so much like innovation in that battle. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But if you want to keep up to date on the RBL stuff, follow me on Instagram at RBL Commish. That's where I'll be dropping these blogs. They are for the super fans of the show. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. And, a lot of it over the next month is going to be dealing, of course, with the championship. And I had to do this. Can we blur out? I think my address is on the front of that box. I should have thought this through before I did it. But I had to bring this. I had to show everybody. This is the prize. Can we zoom in on this? Do we have a zoom in this studio?
Hell yeah. We can punch in.
The championship belt has arrived. January 31st, the Denver Improv, London, Scotland, LA, New York. Everybody is going to be competing to try to take this belt home, to try to add 8 to 10 pounds to their carry-on luggage when they fly back to Europe. I need footage of one of them.
Europe's going to win this thing?
If it's funnier that way. It's funny. It's funnier if they have to check it at customs.
Yeah, wait, what is this?
It's funnier if customs has questions. Absolutely. If it's John Ajota or Ryan Nesson, it's not, whatever. Right. Who cares? But the idea of somebody landing in Scotland and they're like, do you have anything to declare? And they're like, yes, I am the roast battle champion of the fucking world. And slamming the belt down.
Declaring themselves the champion.
Hell yeah. That's all I want out of this thing. But January 31st, we haven't had a chance to talk about this off air, but one of the comments that I did see, and I saw it on Instagram, people are asking, how can I see this thing if I'm not in Denver? I want to be clear. If you're near Denver, get out there. I'm extra motivated to sell this thing out for reasons that we won't totally get into, but
sell it out.
We want to sell it out regardless.
Comedy is easier with the crowd. I think Patton Oswalt said that.
For sure. But it means a lot to me that we sell this thing out and we get a lot of people there. And Wednesday nights are tough. We're playing behind the 8 ball, so we need the support of our fans.
But, go skiing, see some roast battle.
Absolutely. Now, if they're not in Denver, they want to know, can we see it live? And people are straight up asking about, pay-per-view and everything like that. We're not going to charge anybody a dime for this thing. It is my goal to try to get, even if it's for the diehards, even if it's Instagram Live on the RBL Commish account, obviously we're going to have a high-quality version edited that we upload to YouTube, and that's going to come out. But a lot of people want to watch the Super Bowl as it happens, right? They want to see it as it unfolds. So I don't have the exact answer for you guys yet, but I'm going to do my best to make sure that there is a way that you guys can watch the championship live. Just please no comments on like the audio isn't cut perfectly. It's going to be on a fucking iPhone if we're able to do it. So
this is why I don't want to give you guys anything, because all you do is complain.
Yeah, I want to believe in the good of people. Right. I want to believe that they can, because we do have some great fans. I see some of the same people sort of commenting over and over again. I feel like Koo Kicks has been at every roast battle for
Mikey
a decade.
Zero, Kate's Aunt,
There's some absolute, and we see you guys, and we love you guys, and it's easier to dunk on the people who are like, the audio, but we do have a bunch of really good diehard fans. Anybody who watches this podcast, I think, is a diehard, and we appreciate you guys. Don't ever get that twisted. We dunk on the fans a little bit. Moses reads every comment. It's driving him insane slowly.
Yeah, first comment's going to be, all right, timestamp, guys. 28:30 is when they really start. They get into the battles.
Which is fine. You guys want to watch battles. So what do you say we watch some battles?
Let's watch some motherfucking battles.
Let's do it. So this week, what we decided to do, because we're still in the off season, we decided to revisit the best battles from 2023 at the Mothership. Frankly, this episode could have been 10 hours long. We've had so many incredible battles there. They're all available on our YouTube, the full shows. I don't think we have a single bad one out there that's not worth watching.
That's not true.
All right. Agree to disagree. But these are 5 of my personal favorite battles, highlighting all of the different American RBL cities. And we're going to jump right into it now with one of my favorite early battles. This is New York versus Denver. And this was from, I believe, the first show where we did the league concept, where we were like, let's get somebody out from all 6 cities and put them together. And I did not know what to expect, because we're taking people who have never met before and we're putting them together on stage, and that could be a really dicey proposition. But this was the first one we did of that style, I believe, and these guys knocked it out of the park. This is Jake Pizza from Denver against Divya Gunasekaran from New York. Here it is.
So to be honest, I'm actually a little nervous right now, because this is the closest thing to a date that either of us have been on in quite some time. Actually, her dad gave my dad 2 goats and a chicken to arrange this roast battle.
Shout out to whatever commenter said it's all racism now.
So, roast battle tradition, okay?
I just want to clarify, my parents would sooner arrange my suicide than make me marry him.
That one's going to get us demonetized.
Any mention of
I'll try to make
suicide.
this quick. I do know Jake has to get back to brushing his mother's hair. Jake's sperm is actually like the vaccine. Because it's a liquid a lot of people didn't want inside them.
Yeah, baby!
And we can't prove it, but there's definitely some autism in there.
I mean, you can probably prove it.
You look like you learned how to masturbate from a biology textbook.
Yeah, but so did he.
Great point.
The crowd just got it.
Yeah, yeah.
We were in.
Jake's in a band, so give it up for My Chemical Castration.
That's a good one.
You might also know his side project, System of a Down Syndrome.
Classic.
Yeah, that's one of those.
Divya Gunasacran. Your name sounds like a spell from Harry Potter that you would use to give somebody pussy itch.
Pussy itch is an insane thing to say.
Because it sounds like his medical term.
You look like you cosplay a Grand Wizard in Harry Potter and the KKK.
It's a solid Harry Potter rebuttal.
Yeah.
No, Jake, you look like Clark Kent if his kryptonite were direct eye contact.
That's how you do it.
Dude, that's so good.
That's how you do an autism joke.
Yeah.
That's easy for you to say, Punjabi Margot Robbie.
Hey, we love a rhyme.
Don't get enough
Like
of those.
The last Barbie left on the shelf.
Jesus Christ.
Facts battle.
Yeah. It's a commentary on America more than anything.
You look like you get beaten with your own chastity belt.
He does look like that.
Yeah.
Oh, was that it? You know, Divya actually went to Dartmouth College, an Ivy League institution, where she majored in computer science. So I gotta ask, with your background, why would you want to become a comedian when you could have just as easily become a very successful 7-Eleven cashier?
He's hitting this from every angle.
He called you Indian.
Yeah, he did do that. You gonna let him call you Indian like that?
Like that.
It's funny because I work in tech, but you look like Bill Gates if he named Microsoft after his penis. Jake, if you're here, who's masturbating to a World War II documentary? Thanks.
My grandpa, actually.
I'm glad you have that bonding activity.
I deserve more.
Jake's last name is pronounced pizza, like the food. And like pizza, he's guaranteed to come in 30 minutes from a teenage boy.
It's really well written. First of all, great battle. I remember breathing just like a big sigh of relief, like halfway through that one. Like, okay, this is gonna work.
Yeah.
The league is going to work at the Mothership. You know, everybody comes down there super prepared. Like, these guys had great jokes, and like, we don't mic the crowd down there. We don't have a special like crowd mic. So that is just audio from one camera. And I think I remember people saying like at the time, like, why is the pacing so slow, and they were literally waiting for the crowd to die down. What you're hearing is a crowd volume at like maybe 30% of what it was. There were thunderous pops.
I mean, huge pops
in that battle where like they couldn't have possibly gone any faster because the crowd was extended pops too, 10 seconds, 12 seconds, shit like that. So both of those guys were incredible. I remember we watched that battle on RBL Live when we recorded at the Tokyo Comedy Bar, the one RBL Weekly Live, and everybody in attendance was stunned that Jake got the win.
Really?
Everybody. And it made me go back and read the comments on the battle, and it's the same comments on the internet. Everybody thinks Divya got it.
Okay, why?
I mean, I don't know. Sometimes things play differently, like in the room and on video.
I mean, if I'm watching that, let's just take it as like boxing, right? I'm looking at points. It's like every jab she had, because she was just coming with just little jabs here and there. Like even like when we're watching it for the commentary, you were, oh, that was good. That was a well-written joke. That was a well-written joke.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't really hear the pops so much from the audience, but you knew they were good jokes and they were kind of waiting for something to die down. So I'm saying like maybe just, I guess on average, she probably had more jokes she was getting out than Jake was, but Jake had bigger pops.
That's definitely how it felt in the room.
Yeah.
One thing I loved about Divya though, right? Because we kind of busted Jake's balls a little bit on like the hitting every Indian angle.
Oh yeah.
She found different ways to call him autistic. And the thing that I loved was she took the first joke to just straight up use the word autism and get it out there. And then from there, it was all sort of like characteristics of somebody who might be spectrumy. You know what I mean? So she didn't spell it out like every time.
Yeah.
But I thought, maybe my favorite joke of the thing was the Clark Kent direct eye contact thing.
Beautiful joke.
And we'll wrap this up so you can get back to brushing your mother's hair.
Beautiful.
She did have a couple of haymakers.
I mean, textbook how you kind of write for a nondescript white guy, right? I mean, because that's always the hardest thing I feel like in roast battle people have a hard time with, because with an ethnic person, you can kind of go to all those jokes. You can go to all the race jokes. You know what I mean? With a woman, you can go to misogyny, or you can go to slut shaming, right?
Sure.
With a big person, fat shaming, right? With somebody who's like a religious type, right? You can maybe go to some xenophobia. But with straight, nondescript white guys, it's a little harder sometimes. Like I always see like people call, during the Toby Marchino era, because he's such a robotic dude, people always go like, oh, you're this, or you're a sex robot manufacturer, that kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever that is, or it's rapist, pedophile, whatever you want to call it. With that, I didn't see so many. There was that, obviously. She profiled him as such, as a pedophile, but she going for the neurodivergence angle. You don't see that a lot. So that was so fun. Right,
for sure. No, I thought it was really well done. And there's an interesting double standard, right? Where if I'm battling an Indian person and I have Indian jokes, right? Like, it's lazy, right? But we could watch somebody battle 100 straight white guys and they will hit racist and they will hit pedophile.
Right.
Every time. Her closer called him a pedophile. She had the Harry Potter KKK thing. Like, to me, neither one is lazy. You're just giving the crowd like kind of what they want.
Right.
But there is a double standard where it's like, oh, if you're making ethnic jokes about an ethnic person, it's lazy writing. But if you're calling a white dude a rapist and a pedophile, it's not.
Right.
And I think we have to accept that all of it is the same level of, and again, I don't use the word lazy. To me, it's a crowd pleasing kind of thing where it's like, how am I going to make this crowd laugh? Because ultimately, that is still the goal.
It's a dunk contest, everybody. It's a home run derby. Like, I'm not gonna, oh, you don't want to see me go through my legs?
Yeah.
It's like, no, we clearly have an Indian person. I'm going to hear a 7-Eleven joke. You know what I mean? Like, please, give me at least one.
Yeah, exactly. If you went up there like, oh, Harold Miner already went through the, or was it J.R. Ryder? It was J.R. Ryder, right? He already went through the legs 30 years ago, so I can't do that in my dunk. It's like, you can. You also do a 360.
Right, yeah.
You elevate
the
basics. So those are the fundamentals of roast battle, and like they did those, but there were also like different angles on it, and like it was a little bit subtle, like obviously it's an ethnic joke to say you look like the last Barbie on the shelf, but it's not. It's coming at it from a different angle than you would usually get.
Right. Barbie's popular, right? It's a movie coming out kind of a thing, and then you look at this objectively attractive, Indian person, and then to say like, oh, you're a Barbie, but you're not the Barbie that's going on with anybody. That is such just a punch to the solar plexus. That was a really well-written joke. Like, that's an example of like a clever, well-written race joke.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you get down. That's how you do it.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I thought they both killed it. Denver had a really good year at the Mothership. Pretty much everybody they sent out really did a great job.
Yeah. Even their Indian guy, yeah.
Devesh Patel was on the most recent one, and he had a great battle with Scott Hall from New York.
Yeah, Divya and Devesh. Wow.
2024, maybe that's...
Yeah, I'm just saying, I just need some diversity in those names, Indian people.
Oh, yeah, that too. Absolutely.
Yeah, get like Black Americans, you know. We add a, what is that, the Wayans brothers say, a Ta, La, or Shah on the front of it, you know. LeBron, yeah, La Divya. Next battle.
Great battle. Congratulations to the winner, Jake to Pizza from Denver. We will be in Denver on January 31st for the Roast Battle League World Championships. Get your tickets now at denverimprov.com. Okay, let's keep it moving now, and we are going to go... I'll tell you what, I enjoyed the racism so much.
So, did you?
Do you want more?
I love racism.
No, I didn't, but I just have to balance out all the comments you're reading. This was another, this was an Austin versus Austin one. Now, the event we have coming up on January 1st, all Austin versus Austin. This one was one of my favorites from a more recent one. This is Ryer Kammerman and Francisco Rincon. I believe the top two in Austin MVP voting for the 2023 season.
Those two were?
They were either 1 and 2 or 1 and 3.
I thought O'Meara was up there.
O'Meara was up there. Dapari was up there. I might be speaking out of turn. Francisco won it. Ryer was definitely top 5.
Wow. Yeah.
Let's leave it at that. They're two absolute killers from Austin, and they had a great battle at the Mothership. Let's check it out.
Let's go!
Ryer looks like she could be anything from a 11-year-old boy to a 50-year-old lesbian. She looks like she eats pussy, but she has to remove the crust.
There it is.
At least I'm from a country with food. All right.
Jesus Christ.
Francisco, you troubled Chihuahua. Francisco looks like he roofies quesadillas.
Ryer, thank you for being here and taking a break from talking to your plants.
Thanks for taking a break from fucking my plants.
Thanks for taking a break from mouth feeding your birds.
Thanks for taking a break from full-on gay sex.
Austin.
They love that shit down there,
Ryer,
man.
how disappointed was the priest when he found out he didn't get head from a little boy?
God damn.
That's what it picked up.
Yeah.
Thank you, Count Fagula.
There it is.
Okay, we're back.
Francisco, I don't want to be racist, but Francisco is a huge pussy. He told me that he can't have a beard. And I said, what? I thought I just met your girlfriend.
What was that?
Huge pussy, I do sound like Pussy in Boots. Ryer will be delivering your DoorDash in a unicycle later.
Yes. I do own a unicycle. I do. Thank you, Ricky Ricardo. Look, thank you. I'm so glad that you dressed like a shadow with Down syndrome. It's so funny.
Ryer, it's past your bedtime. You should go home to... Ryer sleeps in a tent inside her bedroom. You have to wake up early tomorrow. You have to practice coloring and not eating the crayons.
Yeah, after you stick them in your ass.
What is going on in this battle?
Francisco and I have a lot in common. I want to be a man about as much as he wants to be a citizen. Hey, Franny, 6th president, go.
I love that tag.
Oh, that's great.
I love that tag. That's so funny. Although if he knew the 6th president, he would win the battle just on that.
Yeah, if he would have said like Gerald Ford or something.
About a year ago, Ryer tried
It's like
coming out as a
37.
man, and nobody believed her. So, hey, Ryer, how about next time you try coming out as a boy?
Oh. I would, but you would fuck me right away.
There it is.
Yep.
Francisco's girlfriend used to be his roommate. Also, when he was 5, he was molested by his cousin. So, you know, his bed is kind of like the Olive Garden, because whenever he's there, he's family. Were you molested?
Yeah, she was 13, I was 28, and
You look both of those ages right now. You're so confusing. You're so confusing.
Last joke.
all right, Ryer used to wrestle in high school, but she quit because she was struggling balancing schoolwork with wrestling her own sexuality.
I would beat your ass right now, you weak little man.
Yes, you would. I would never fight a little boy.
Do you want me to mark your height on the wall real quick, you tiny little cunt?
You look like if Justin Bieber never made it.
Keep going. John Quincy Adams, 6th president.
JQA?
Yeah.
Nice. I was going to guess Madison.
Yeah, right. Madison Grant.
Who?
Madison Grant.
Madison Grant's a porn star, I think.
No. Madison Grant wrote. I think Madison Grant wrote the that book that Hitler was inspired by.
Okay.
Yeah.
I meant James Madison.
Oh, James Madison. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Madison Grant. Yeah, let me actually look that up. I think.
Yeah, Madison Grant. If there isn't a porn star named Madison Grant, there should be. It's a great name. Great porn name. While he's looking that up, yeah, that was a fun battle. That was one of the. It's so interesting. Like, I was in the room for that one, and I remember it. What do we have?
Yeah, I was right. Yeah, Madison Grant is a white supremacist eugenicist, and he authored The Passing of the Great Race, which inspired Hitler. It's Mein Kampf.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway,
Yeah.
You
So
learned so
anyway,
many things here on RBL Weekly.
I meant James Madison, but yeah, that guy could have been one of. I think we had a lot of white supremacists early on.
I would have to say
in the lineup. Yeah.
Yeah.
First 10 presidents were pretty jam packed.
10.
44.
I would say, yeah. Even half of Barack is
40.
probably a little bit, a little bit supremacist.
It was really interesting because, like, I remember being in the room for that battle and it popped super hard. It was the best battle of that night. And there are still, like, you see the big pops and everything. But it's so funny to watch Divya and Jake and then watch Ryer and Francisco and see just, like, the difference in styles,
Yeah.
right? Austin is very aggressive.
Yes.
In their word choices.
They want to go for buzzwords and punchlines because they want people to stay and pay attention, right? It's almost like when David Letterman would put like AC on full blast in the studio to keep his audience awake.
Yeah.
That was what I feel like Austin is all the time. I'm just like, I'm going to be awake because I'm going to hear some kind of slur that's going to make me be like, oh, I'm in Austin.
Yeah.
I mean, she hit it all, by the way.
Oh,
The R word,
the bingo
F
card
word,
is full.
yeah. I mean, woo, girl.
Yeah.
Her cutting there to it for a second.
Yeah, for sure. If we weren't demonetized by Divya's suicide, then we for sure are by this point. So
yeah, I feel like the dichotomy of those two, or the juxtaposition of those two battles, is basically like who went to college and who didn't.
yeah, Jake and Divya was definitely a more educated battle.
It felt like, yeah, just the way they were writing the jokes, the way they were delivering the jokes, right?
You definitely feel like if comedy went away tomorrow, Divya and Jake would be donating money to Francisco and Ryer.
Right, you're right.
At a stoplight under an overpass or whatever.
Yeah, do you have any pedophile jokes?
Yeah, there was a lot of very aggressive kind of stuff. But a lot of people love that. That's one thing that I do really enjoy about Roast Battle, especially as we expand to this, like, you know, global kind of audience. We have fans out there, I'm sure, who are watching this right now who are like, thank God a real battle after that
Right.
first thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Words. Ugh, right.
For me, as like a writer who like obsesses over every word, like the first battle is a little more my speed.
Right.
But I think for a lot of people, they're like, oh my God, they were wasting all this time. I saw one comment, because I did watch the live of the thing that we put out, and there was a comment where it was like, these battles are obviously like pre-written and like fake. Like they're writing the jokes ahead of time. And to me, I'm like, yeah. That's not a secret. Like we're not.
Yeah.
We never tried to pretend that this was like off the top.
Yeah, just so you guys know, by the way, rap battles, same thing.
Also written.
Nobody's freestyling. Only freestyler I know is Corey Sharon.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and like in the whole like rap battle community will probably tell you the same thing. There'll be some new guys at this point, but yeah, back when Sharon came through around like 2017, 16, yeah, the big secret was rap battlers. Oh, it's all freestyle. They write 6 months ahead of time.
Yeah, for sure, dude. It's all written, and the roast battles are all written, and like it was an insane comment to me. But I think for a lot of people, the speed of that one too is more like what we're doing, because there was a lot of like off the top of the head stuff in that battle. It just happened to be like "you fuck little boys" said 45 different ways. But it did.
They wrote those down, by the way. Those are written.
You think those were written?
Yeah, bro.
You think thank you for taking the time away from full on gay sex was something Ryer wrote?
Thank you, Ricky Retardo. I can probably guarantee.
Ricky Retardo was for sure written. She had that one in the cut. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, I mean, really interesting to watch those two battles back to back. I never did that before, where it's like, oh goddamn, yeah, the styles are pretty different. This next one I think is probably a pretty good blend of the first two. This is the Bay Area versus Chicago. This is also from the first event we ever did with the league format. And it features the winner of the 2023 Chicago tournament, Tito.
Hell yeah.
Taking on one of our favorites in the world, the legless wonder himself, Logan Farr, representing the Bay Area. This battle was exceptional. I went back and watched it last night for the first time since it happened to prepare for this, and I was like, oh, I forgot how good this was. So I'm excited for you to see it. Let's check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, look at this series of unfortunate events. This clickety, clackety, snickets looking ass. Bro, you look like a protein bar. Fuck the can opener.
How are you gonna talk shit about my looks looking like you're getting all dolled up to head to Trader Jose's? Tito, just like the vodka you're named after, I would prefer you if ice was involved.
That's a really solid. That's a really solid.
You got
joke.
resting ice face, bitch. Shut up. He's not ops, he's oops. Anyways. This beautiful white devil over here. Is he Queasel? He's not racist because both his best legs are black.
Perfect.
Keep it going for Tranny Trejo.
Sometimes it's
Like
fun.
we'd be in a pirate-themed porno. I would be peg-legging Captain Jack Swallows.
I love how Tito gets like visibly angry when people make fun of him.
Like a bitch.
This guy used to be a firefighter, but not a lot of people know he used to be a bouncer at a Boston Marathon. He got fired.
Most people don't know Tito used to play football. You know, Colin Kaepernick.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Clever ways to
In
say
that
slurs.
case, I'm Don
I mean,
Quixote.
the
You're
roast
the
battle.
abandoned windmill, bitch.
Not smart enough to
outta
get that
here.
one.
Dude, with your leather, tattoos, and piercings, you look like you're an MS 13 and under.
So you're tight, bitch.
They're slow.
This man was hit by a train at 21. Since then, his wife left him and he lives in a van. Turns out the train that hit you was called life.
A little too real.
It's like
Nice
he's like a
Benicio
magician.
Del Oro. I find
Half
it funny.
Jackman.
I find it funny Tito's a landlord when he looks like one of the burglars from Homes Alone.
Okay.
Hey, yo, keep it going, man. It's Tito Reyes. Let's roast!
Tito is a wetback. Not because he's Mexican. He just hates dudes finishing in his hair.
There. Yep. Save that one for OT.
He kind of got, there's a combo.
Yeah.
A little racism and a little homophobia.
Bro, you sound like a cyborg that hates trans women. If you were the Terminator, you'd be the T-Buck 50.
I don't know what that means.
Keep it going one more time. All right. I think that windmill joke was a Don Quixote reference.
Yeah. He said something about like I'm Don Quixote and you're the windmill. I don't read history books.
History?
Is that not
It's a book.
It's okay. I don't read books. You're more cultured than you're referencing like authors and shit. I legitimately.
Yeah, that's what our fans don't like. Yeah.
I don't think I've read a book since high school.
Yeah, me being black and reading, I think that's woke to people.
Yeah, dude, knock it off.
All right, I'll go back to saying
I got the Kaepernick. I got the Kaepernick reference.
thanks.
I got that one
Because there was a spick at the end, right?
You know, I feel like Logan when he sat down to write. The very first thing he did, he took out the loose leaf, and at the top he wrote out spick and wetback, and then he just worked backwards. He's like, "How am I going to get these involved?"
These are the punchlines. How can I get a premise around these?
Yeah. And it's so funny to me because look, anybody who's ever written anything that has to be like pun, like I write a lot, battle bots, and like there's so many like puns and everything that rhymes. Like
Right.
I always say, if my most recent webpage visited is rhymezone.com, I am writing some bullshit.
Yes.
And that is exactly what happened there. Logan went to rhymezone.com and typed in like racial slurs just to see.
Colin Capper.
Yeah. But he had some great shit there.
No, you're right. That did blend both of those styles from Divya and to pizza with Ryer and Francisco. That was kind of a blending of both. You're getting some hard punches with a few slurs in there.
Yeah.
And you're getting some really good, well-written jokes in there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think overtime was the right call. I thought Tito, that both of his best legs are black. He can't be racist. That was probably my favorite joke of the battle. I thought Logan maybe hit a little bit more consistently.
Oh, below the knee, maybe?
a little bit. And then Logan saved a banger for overtime, and Tito just didn't really have anything left at that point. I do think it's interesting, like watching Tito, his delivery, the way he responds to jokes about him. There's like a big, if somebody hits him with a joke and the crowd's laughing, like you could see it kind of like affects him.
Yeah, he doesn't wear it well.
He'll play it off like sarcastically, like, ha 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 ha. Oh, we're just going to make fun of the Mexican guy. It's like, yeah, you're in a roast battle, dude. Like, yeah.
That's his style, though. It's like, oh, you're going to hit me in the face like he's in a boxing match.
Right. Oh, another punch to the head. We're going to keep doing this all day. Okay. Yeah, it's
He like delivers his jokes like a magician for real. It's very just like, ta-da.
It's very theatrical.
But Tito, if you ever see him live, like that guy he's a tour de force.
Oh yeah.
He's a tough opponent.
Yeah, and that tournament was like 32 people. I think he ran through like 5 or 6 to win that thing.
One of the best in Chicago, if not the best in Chicago.
Yeah, so shout out to Tito, shout out to Logan Farr. Logan was one of the people who really nailed the Austin experience as much as anybody. He went down there, he crushed it in his battle on Sunday. He got on Kill Tony on Monday, crushed it on Kill Tony on Monday. Just really making the most of kind of the week there. That's one of the reasons like a lot of people want to go down there is to perform at the Mothership and sort of try to do that doubleheader back to back. And Logan, Brandon Kiefer was another one from Chicago who his battle could have been on this episode today, but it was a little bit one-sided.
It was a little bit one-sided,
he
right?
Murdered
but man,
Evan Warner.
And Evan Warner is one of my favorite new roast battlers. But man, Brandon Kiefer, he's obviously ahead now.
Yeah. Would love to see Kiefer and Logan back at the Mothership this year. I think we got to have a best of show. I think we got to get some of our favorites who killed it the first time and get them down there to face each other.
Our boys.
That would be a good one. Let's keep it moving right now. We got 2 more battles. The next one is going to be Austin versus New York. This one took place on super short notice. We were contacted last minute to put on not one but 2 shows on a single night, and we had what, like 4 days notice, something like that. Malia Simon, one of the best battlers from New York, just happened to be in Austin anyway, which was great because we needed to book 20 battlers in one night. And then Matt Bellick, who is becoming an online favorite, man.
Yeah.
Every time people bring to my attention comments, it's like, man, people love Bellick.
People love Bellick. I mean, Adam Lucky, who the president of the Austin division, he's always talking about Bellick. He's like, oh, Bellick's like my favorite guy. He's my favorite. He's like a roast battler's favorite roast battler right now.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting that vibe, and I have a theory on why that is. I want to share with you after the battle. But let's get into it first. This was a great one. This is Matt Bellick from Austin, Malia Simon from New York. Here it is.
1 round, 5 jokes. Malia from New York, Matt from
is that the Trump polo?
Who's going first?
Yeah,
I'll go first.
Oh,
yeah.
Trump.
Folks, are we ready for this?
No. Never wrinkled.
The Yankees, the Confederate.
Quality
Are we
polo.
ready?
$75.
It wasn't made in America,
City,
right?
In the South, that's
How dare you?
I want to thank Malia for taking time and having her first period to be here tonight. That's very nice of her. Malia looks like she got her nipples pierced at Claire's.
They do a great job, I mean.
Her mom drove her there, yeah.
All right, everybody give it up for my opponent. The reason girls stop saying they're looking for funny guys.
Yikes.
Matt looks like the last thing you see on Tinder before you kill yourself.
Wow.
And you're paying a monthly subscription for it. All right, thank you, little orphan anal. Yeah. Malia is so bland and boring that when guys eat her pussy, they go, this could use some salt.
Twist on a classic.
White women don't be seasoning they pussy. You know what I'm saying?
All right, resting GameStop face.
Wow.
Big fan.
He's got the face of someone who knows exactly how to stop his IP address from being tracked.
If you're wondering why Malia's a little low energy tonight, it's just because they started making Xanax in pumpkin spice flavors.
Matt, thanks for taking a break from ranking Doritos flavors to be here.
Oh my God, dude. She captured every essence
That's
of
what I was
it.
saying.
Oh.
She's my new favorite because I was like, she nails it because he was good this battle.
Oh, yeah. It's a great battle.
Doritos are good. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, thank you. Kim, possibly still in high school over here. I like the red hair. My question is, do the curtains match the herpes? They do. They're red.
They're red.
Herpes.
Shout out herpes.
Matt, I don't know how to explain this, but Matt looks like someone you'd meet ice climbing. I don't know. He's like wilderness fat. Like. Ow.
I didn't know where she was going with that, but wilderness fat.
He's great.
He looks like a caveman if they could Uber Eats the buffalo or something.
Yeah.
All right, you fucking milquetoast skinny bitch. All right, Malia identifies as she, her, but her titties pronouns are they gone.
Matt looks like the one in every all-male friend group that the other guys call legendary.
Oh my God.
That's a fact.
He seems like he's been kicked out of Hooters for jerking off to the wings.
I'm telling you, man, this is a 10 out of 10 for me from this lady.
Yeah, dude, she murdered this.
She really
Good battle. I think that's 5.
Let's go one more time. Malia Simon.
You know it's a good battle when you lose count of the jokes.
I was just in love with this battle.
Yeah.
This was my favorite. I mean, Bellick came with it. He had... This is the thing that Austin does really well. Like watching all these, but the Austin battlers in particular, Francisco, Bellick now I'm watching, they do this really good thing where like they reverse they did this reversal almost as a rebuttal. It's like they're flipping what you just said all the way over. Not so much like a rebuttal, like, oh, response to what you're saying, but like they're saying what you're saying, it's rolling off their back, and then it's their joke.
Yeah.
And he's kind of got you on your back, and you're like, oh, fuck, did I even make that joke, or was that his the whole time?
Well, yeah, I mean, and I think that speaks to like my theory about Bellick is especially juxtaposed against the rest of the Austin scene, where it does seem like everybody's trying to be the edgiest a lot of times. Right? Like, he's so silly.
Yes.
His shit's well written, it's silly, it counters out the rest of the Austin kind of like energy. He's not taking it too seriously, which is an insane thing to say for a thing that we're marketing as a sport, and we have a podcast breaking it down. Like, obviously, everything we do is about taking this art form seriously.
Right.
But he's like, hey, I'm having fun up here.
Yeah.
I'm having fun. Nobody has more fun on that stage, I feel like, than Matt Bellick.
Right.
And the same way we were just talking about Tito, like, you could see the jokes getting to him. Like, Bellick is just like, you could tell there's nowhere he would rather be than on that stage telling these silly jokes. Because even when he does bust out like the herpes thing, like it's done in such a silly way where it's not like, oh, here's an edgy buzzword for the sake. It's just like he's almost whimsical with it.
Exactly. That's a great. That's perfect way to describe that cat and the way he battles. He's whimsical. It's just fun. I mean, you're having a good time. Like he's like Keith Carey in that way of just like, it's just going to be good every time you go up against this guy because he's just going to have something to say that's funny, silly, and just not taking it too seriously and loose. And I think that really does kind of it disarms the other battler of like, oh yeah, I don't have to be so rigid and strict and like, you know, I guess I don't even know the word I'm looking for, but yeah, like something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And to Malia's credit, for all the talk we had earlier about how it's an easy crutch and to go to, the racist, you know, the pedophile kind. Maybe I missed a couple in there, but it seemed like she was doing a really good job of sort of cutting to the core of like who he is with equally silly, like ranking Doritos flavors, resting GameStop face, fucking the guy in every friend group that they call legendary. Which is so true.
She did that thing that you love so much, which is like she just took the essence and I feel like every joke she had that was written about him, not even like an off the cuff or a rebuttal, was just the essence of Matt Bellick every time. And I was like, oh, that's him. Oh, that's another version of him. Oh my God.
She put him in 5 different imaginary scenarios, and every one of them I was like instantly able to picture him in that scenario. It was like central casting for like guy who Bellick, samples Doritos.
Legendary. Oh, I'll tell you what, it's Zesty Ranch. Then it's Cooler Ranch.
Yeah, I mean that was to me just an amazing display of the different kind of writing. Like Divya and Jake earlier on was like a very specific kind of roast writing that I feel like they perfected and did really well. This was the 180 of that, where it's like the flip side of that coin, where it's still super well written, but coming at it from a completely different angle. Yeah.
That's why I think Malia Simon. That was my first time seeing her live, and I was like, whoa. I love that essence. Like you take somebody, it's the Mike Lawrence thing. It's just I'm gonna make you feel like you're a loser at the end of this.
Yeah,
and I feel like she was doing a really good job of that. But Bellick is so, I just lets everything roll off him so easily. Like you didn't even know it hurt him because it didn't.
Perfect defense.
Yeah,
perfect. Amazing battle. We're gonna get into the last one now, and then this one was an interesting one because I feel like it takes a little while to ramp up. The beginning of the battle is like a little bit kind of slow. And then there's a segment in the middle where it's like Hagler and Hearns, the way they just start throwing fucking haymakers at each other the entire time. And then this one also has an overtime featuring one of the hardest hitting rebuttals we've ever seen. This is LA versus Denver. The Denver champion, Evan Joe, who will be battling in an exhibition match on January 31st at the Denver Improv during the RBL World Championships. And he is going up against one of the fastest rising battlers in the LA scene, Elise Golgowski. Without further ado, let's check it out.
Battle! LA! Denver, that's wrong!
Evan, you sentient owl pellet. You look like an entire Renaissance fair manifested into one person.
Wow, I mean, what can I say about Elise that hasn't already been whispered at a women's swim meet? Elise is the kind of gal to chug milk during sex and then finish on the dude's back.
Oh boy, good one, Carrot Top surgery. Evan's dad is in prison. It must be heartbreaking for him, though, knowing that his crush is out there fucking other dudes. But at least now you know where he is.
What? What the fuck, bitch? I know you stole that from Kung Fu Panda. That's... Oh, man. No, seriously, thank you, Chinderella. Elise actually used to work at Disney World. That was until Walt Disney found out and fired her for looking too Jewish. I can say that. I'm also Jewish looking. So.
Cool. Thank you, Machine Gun Smelly.
You're welcome, Elon Musk.
All right. Man, yeah, I do look like a man. That's why I probably get paid more than you.
Smash that glass ceiling right over his fucking
Keep it going
head.
for Hermione Stranger Danger, you guys. It's statutory rape, not statutory rape. God, but seriously, Evan looks like he sucks toes. Because that's the closest he'll ever get to legally sucking baby dicks.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Hillary Clinton. Elise is addicted to ketamine, but only because her doctor thinks she's a horse.
Cool. That's rich coming from a boy built like a bird scooter. So, Evans lived on a farm for 1 year, but he's been fucking animals for 2. He likes his horse cum shaken, not stirred. I'll sell you some cum after the show for $5, bitch.
Oh, thank you, She Biscuits.
You're welcome, weird Barbie Yankovic.
Thank you, Manic Depression Barbie.
Thank you, Vanilla Lice.
Back in 2015, Elise had skin cancer on her nose. Fortunately, the doctors were able to find it fast enough and save that innocent cancer from her ugly face.
Jesus Christ.
Man, that would have been really scathing if it came from a hot person, you know?
I get that. That's fair.
Boy. Evan's grandmother actually passed away choking on a pulled pork sandwich he made for her. That was the only time Evans ever had his pork in a woman's mouth.
All right. Well, coming from a young Jay Leno, that doesn't mean much. Man. Oh, thank you, Real Housewives of War-Torn Ukraine.
Thank you, 2/3 of Hocus Pocus.
Tito! You look like the baby Michael Jackson and Macaulay Culkin would have had.
Oh my God, that's really funny.
She does look like that.
Adorable and successful. Thank you.
Raped and ugly.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's just get into it then. Let's make it quick. Let's fucking go. Overtime. Let's do it.
All right, Elise, you went first. That means Evan's up first. Joke up, let's roast.
Elise's last name is Golgowski, which is hard to pronounce unless you have 2 dicks in your mouth.
And you pronounced it perfectly.
Boom.
Yep.
Roasted.
Yep. Okay. She did walk into that. He did walk into that. Yeah. I like all the different styles that we showcased on this episode. This one had an electric kind of like, it started slow, and then the thank you so-and-sos were popping so hard in the room. That's not my favorite style. I think the thank you, the pun thing is like drives me.
You're welcome.
Insane.
Yeah.
But God, when you get 2 people who are on the same page with it, it absolutely can elevate a battle and take it to like the next level.
Feels like serve and volley. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. And to write all of those and remember them, because they each did probably 5 or 6 of them.
Oh yeah.
So it's one thing to write and memorize 5 jokes, but it's another thing to have like 18 different Peyton Manning line of scrimmage audibles ready to call just in case. And I really admire that.
Yeah, it's a style that you get a lot in the Comedy Central roast or the Friars Club roast, right? Like, thank you, yeah, such and such, right?
Yeah.
And I think Mike Lawrence kind of made that style famous in roast battle for the most part, and to see it kind of evolve and see like every battler on every coast and every continent kind of does it, and it's fun to see. I don't know, that battle was was different for me because. Yeah, the pop didn't really come to the end when Elise just kind of puts that trap door basically of her name where Evan Joe walks right into it.
Yeah. Overall, I thought the written jokes were kind of like, mediocre.
Right.
But it was the thank yous. It was the energy that didn't really transfer, I feel like, the entire time to the video.
Correct.
But, we were both there for that. And it was just like...
That was a banger. That was really a banger. I mean, I'm still tripping on that Malia and Matt Bellick. It was just so much fun. And then we go to this one, and it does kind of show all the styles. Like, Elise has a very traditional LA style. She'll have a really good written joke. She'll have a really good rebuttal. She's just very textbook, right?
Yeah.
And Evan Joe, he's a little more fun. He's trying to come a little sillier, right? He's not going to come with so many slurs. He's trying to come with something intellectual and silly, but more written, more so than like maybe Matt Bellick coming off the cuff being silly.
Yeah,
you feel me?
Yeah, I mean, Evan, I don't think you can look like that and not be silly as part of your persona.
Right.
Like, I think you kind of have to like lean into that a little bit. But, fun battle. It is really interesting with the exception of Bellick and Malia, which I wasn't there for. You were.
So good.
I was there for the rest of them, and it's so funny to be like, these are my vivid memories of battles where the crowd was going absolutely like insane.
Crazy.
And then you kind of put a couple of them back to back, and it's like, oh, some sort of like age, even though it's only been a couple months, some like are aging a little bit better than others or just play differently on video.
I mean, Heather and Lexi Actionelli. Heather Keith, Lexi Actionelli. That one, I mean, I was surprised not to see it on this list.
We just had it on the RBL Weekly 2 weeks ago because it was the best of the off season.
Okay.
Because it technically happened in November. Otherwise, that would have absolutely been on the list. I think that might be the Mothership battle of the year.
I was going to say, yeah.
Based on everything I saw today, I mean, if I had to pick one based off of this, I think it would probably be Matt Bellick and Malia Simon.
That was the most fun for me, yeah.
Yeah.
Matt and Malia. I just go Bellick and Simon. And then I did like the Tiny Toons with Ryder and Francisco. Man.
Yeah.
They just look like such caricatures of whatever demographic they're a part of. And they didn't let anybody down with. I mean, they came with hard Austin jokes.
Yeah.
That's their styles.
Definitely.
They're gonna come with some shock that you're gonna have to be ready for, other battlers. Like, that's Austin. In LA, we're gonna play with, I don't even know what is LA style.
Technical, formulaic, textbook. We all kind of came up. I mean, we kind of like invented the style. When I say we, I mean the people who were doing this in 2013 through 2015.
Right.
And then I feel like the latest generation, LA is really the only place, maybe New York to a degree, where they have a back catalog of like being able to go and watch it and watch the videos on the internet and listen to old podcasts and be like, oh, this is how you do it. I think for a lot of other cities where you weren't able to go to the belly room 20 times before you signed up for a battle, you're kind of just like, I think that's why you see maybe more innovation in other cities than you do in LA. I feel like LA is very like, oh, this is how it's done. This is how we're going to do it. And very rarely do you get somebody who steps outside of kind of that box. The Herm. Is he your?
I think he's my dark horse for 2024. He's a dark man. He's attacking you like an AK-47. Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like New York style where it's punches and bunches, and Scotland style where it's just like, we have 5 jokes, we have 3 jokes, and then every one of those jokes. With his, it's just like, I'm spraying everything about you. Not letting you get a word in edgewise. He's kind of a bully.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I dig it. I don't get to see that a lot in LA, especially from black battlers. So I'm excited to see what he
anytime
how he
we
evolves.
Anytime we have a black battler come along and have 3 good battles, you're like, this is the future of the sport. And then we put him against a white guy who wrote 5 good jokes, and they get killed, and they're like, I never want to do this again.
It's what stopped David Lucas. Yeah, David Lucas ran into a buzzsaw. I forget what the cat's name is, but yeah.
It was Ramsey Badawi.
Oh, was it Ramsey?
Yeah, he faced him in one of the tournaments we had. That was the first round matchup, and David just went up there and did what David does. I mean, David at this point is legendary worldwide.
Right.
And if you've seen him roast, you know kind of like what he does.
Right.
And Ramsey had done research on his. He was talking about like David's custody status with his daughter. And
it was brutal.
He was getting deep, and after that, David was like, "I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I just wanted to come up and say he looked gay."
Yeah,
and he came up and he's talking about like the fucking custody battle.
That's what
the
roast
hell?
battle is. January 31st, Denver Improv, 8 p.m.
January 31st, Denver Improv, 8 p.m. RBL Weekly every Tuesday. New full length roast battle shows drop every Thursday. Follow us on Instagram at roast battle at RBL Commish. Till next time, I'm Pat Barker. That's Brian Moses. We'll see you guys next week.